Alright, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Alex. Today's Monday. I'm still taking a break from my other YouTube channel. I got some great news for you. I'm going to do 3 videos on the return of the NBA basketball season. Now, it's still too early to make these videos, but I don't want to wait until Wednesday or Thursday when we have the return of the basketball season. So I decided I want to do the videos now because I looked at the schedule and there's going to be basketball games from the end of the week all throughout next week. And that's going to be like at least 5 to 10 videos in 1 week just talking about basketball. Well, I didn't say it with no passion. You know, a lot of people got on me about not having no passion. Look, so let me say it with some passion. Finally, the NBA has come back for the basketball fans. If you smell what the Rock is cooking. Gotta put some emotion into this video. Gotta put some excitement, some passion into this video. Alright, it's gonna be the Utah Jazz versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, this is like the first basketball game that's gonna come on Thursday. Now, I don't know if it's gonna be on ESPN, NBA TV, or if it's going to be on a channel that you have to actually call your cable stream service, or if you're going to have to just go type up NBA on your cell phone or your iPhone or iPad, or if it's going to be on TNT. I'd assume that because the NBA season's coming back, it has to be on TNT. So this is good because it helps fix my channel, my sports channel. There was a lot of you guys that like basketball, football, college sports, and you guys were watching my channel a lot because I was talking about commentary and basketball, football, college sports. Some of y'all weren't really interested in me talking about boxing, but you only watched it because it's a sport and it was to give you something to do. Now, with the return of the NBA season, like I said, it's a little bit too early, but we're going to go ahead and get into this. All right, now the Jazz, they've been practicing. They've had good practices and they've had good scrimmages. And I think they might actually win this game Thursday because they have something to prove. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, they're athletic, they're hungry, they're an offensive threat, so they play offense. I mean, they've gotten better on defense. They're a young team. And this is one of the teams that I would be nervous of if they made it into the if the NBA playoffs was to start right now. The Utah Jazz might be like number 5, number 6, probably number 7, and they could creep up from number 7 to like number 5 like that. So I would be nervous of the Utah Jazz because they're an offensive threat. You know, they can play both sides of the court. They can play offense, they can play defense, they can play all 4 quarters, they can slow down the game, they can speed up the game, they can play 4 quarters, they can run the clock out. They've got spot up shooters, they got power forwards, small forwards, you name it, the Jazz has all of the weapons that they need to win the game. Now, the only time they might lose a basketball game is if the defense collapses or slows down or they break out in transition and they let everyone play zone. Normally, when they play zone, they're good, but some teams, when they play against the Lakers or Portland, they usually have their defense collapse, and then it turns into a shootout game, and then as a result, they lose because they don't play their game, they play the other team's game. That's what would cause the Jazz to lose. Now, the Pelicans is another team out west that's hungry. They have something to prove because before, the season took a break, they were on the rise of winning these games. They were winning these games and they were hanging with the Lakers. They was hanging with teams like the Lakers and the Clippers, and that's scary. When you get a team that doesn't really have a big superstar, they had Anthony Davis and then he went to the Lakers, and that didn't stop them. Like most teams that don't have a superstar, they don't go nowhere. This team, there was like superstar, no superstar, we win basketball games. And when they win basketball games and they're competing with the Lakers, the Clippers, the Houston Rockets, that's like very, very nervous because this team could surprise you at number 7. So they could be at the 8th spot and jump from 8 to 7 to 6, and you just would never expect this team to make it to the playoffs. Like everybody's too focused on the Lakers, the Clippers. You focus on teams like that, and you falling asleep on the Jazz, you falling asleep on the Pelicans, and then all of a sudden these teams get in the playoffs, and you scratch your head like, how on earth these teams get to the playoffs? So who I think gonna win this game on Thursday? I know it's too early to tell. It's 50-50. I'm gonna say if it's the Jazz, they gonna win 90-95. Or should actually that should be 95-90. Jazz might win, or Pelicans might take it by 100-95. Either way, I still think Jazz might win. If it's a high scoring game, I think it might be the Jazz. Pelicans can only win it if they're at home and they got the crowd, which, they're going to have to play, without the crowd, which that's probably going to be tough, but Jazz can win. Like, Jazz has a good way of playing in an environment that's not theirs and make it their own. So that's why I think Jazz might actually win with the urgency. So that was the prediction of this game. I have another video that's coming up, and that one's going to be highly anticipated because everyone wants to know who's going to win between the LA Clippers versus the LA Lakers. I guess we're going to call this the Battle of LA Part 4 because they've played 3 times before. This is like their 4th matchup. Some might say it's 3, but we're going to explain why it's the Battle of LA Part 4 in the next video. Until then, peace.